Hey everyone, it's Time Spiraled. It's been a bit of a while, and it's been a bit of a while since we've touched Revolution Custom Standard, but there's no better time than the start of the season. This is Season 16 over here in good old Rev. We've got two new sets coming right into the format. Plenty of new stuff for everybody to enjoy, and I figured we would start off with a little bit of league coverage here on the first day. I'm just going to let our players know that I'm already recording, so they can already go for it. We got a lot of pretty cards here in the hands. I'm seeing a lot of promo versions that have been unlocked over the previous months. So let's do a quick look. As usual, I really recommend that you pause the videos as I mouse over cards. That way we can focus on the active gameplay. So I'm just going to do a quick loop. We've got some basic lands. We got a Thistral Charm here. Let me just put it in both just for... Nope, that's not going to work. An Overrule Will, Angler of the Crushing Sea, Discern, Island, and another Discern. These are really gorgeous promos here from the Decree set. Over here, we've got some Misty Peaks coming out. These are the Shocklands of the format. They've been around for quite some time. We've got a Deafening Clarion here in the hand, Fateful Ascent, some premium removal, Cursory Glance, great counterspell, Rousing Path, Seafloor Treasures, always good for digging. One of the new cards here, Gold Knight Purge Blade. Does a lot for a 3-mana body, so... And another copy of Fateful Ascent. Alright, so over here on this end, we had Discern, draw a card here, and we had Angler of the Crushing Sea, who I believe was using the Chant mode. Let me just pull that up here so you can see. Chant blue, as you cast an instant or sorcery, you can exile it from your hand. Pay its chant cost to add this card's bracketed effects to that spell, and the bracketed effect was target player mills 3 cards. So looked like we attempted to cast a Discern here with Angler of the Crushing Sea, and it looks like that got Cursory Glanced here. So counter to spell with mana value 3 or less. So Tremor and Zangi, both at 18 life, a little bit of damage off of these Shocklands, but nothing big is happening on the board yet. We're playing in a Rousing Path. It enters tapped unless you control one or fewer other lands, and it's got cycling. Great cycle of lands. We've got them in MSCM as well. It is nice to see them in Rev. They've been playing really great here. I believe that was a from hand. Yep. Discern from the hand, drew a card, instant speed, pulled up a Glimmervale Lake. These enter tapped unless you control a mountain. They tap for blue, 1 red red, until end of turn it becomes a copy of target creature you control, except it's an illusion land in addition to its other types. No actual mountains yet, no basics, and Misty Peak is not typed. So a little bit of a difference from the fetchable Shocklands. And yes, these are at common here in Heirs of the Weft. That's not an error. It's just kind of how it goes. All right, Seafloor Treasures. On Tremor's side here, being played from the hand. Digs for 2, 1 to the hand, the other to the graveyard. Surface ability here from... Chaos Reigns lets you cast a copy of it from the graveyard by exiling it, but you can only do so if there are 6 or more other cards there. So you got to dig a little deep to kind of get the stuff. It's really nice seeing these two similar starts here from both players. There's another Seafloor Treasures here, coming out from the hand. Drawn into a Beyond Comprehension, which is the new 4-mana wipe that hits all creatures. I think it's the first that the format has access to in either a very long time, or just simply hasn't had access to. But we're seeing an Overrule Will here. Counters a spell unless its controller pays 2, and target player mills 3 cards. So Zang is going to opt to bin themselves, and that is really funny as a bunch of other Overrule Wills head into the graveyard. Probably not necessarily what you want. I gotta imagine that you'd want those in the hand, countering your opponent's spells, and milling yourself. But yeah, they're in there. They're in the bin. At least the Discerns have flashback. That's always going to be still an option. Drew into Thought Scour, reprinted here in Innistrad Witching Hour, the set that just released today. Target player mills 2 cards, draw a card. I'll be honest, I love the art on this new Thought Scour. Really great stuff here. Looks like we are... passing it over. Oh no, sorry. We're still on Tremor's turn here. My bad. That was a counter spell. So here's where things get really interesting. There is removal, sweepers, removal, essentially removal, sweepers. there's really nothing to sweep right now. So, Ivyana Dragon Tamer, we're not able to cast it yet. So, this is the dragons you control have Ward 2 and Haste. The +1 deals damage, and the -2 allows you to wish for a dragon card from your sideboard and get 2 tap treasure tokens. So, pretty cool build around. You can put a lot of the dragon cards from, I'm going to say Solist here. I believe that's how it's pronounced. And a lot of these dragons you can pull out. Let me give you an example. I think it's Draconis, like for example, Megistus, right? So a lot of them have adventures. So, you know, you can go and pull out your dragons, cast the instant or the adventure side. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. All right. Looks like Tremor's thinking a little bit of what to do. Have I lost internet? That'd be really unfortunate. Okay, nope, looks like we're good. Zangi's asking all good. Maybe Tremor forgot that they were on their main phase, considering that something was cast. That's what I figured too. See, even I made the mistake earlier. So, moving to end, Thought Scour, targeting themselves. Zangi's going to bin 2 more cards. Let's see what hits the bin. The Last Will. I am laughing at this. And an island. So there it is. The playset of Overrule Will is in the yard. Drawing into a Geist Blaster's Breakthrough, though. Deals X damage to a creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of differently named instants and sorceries. So we're at 3 right now. Well, +1. So 4. So, you know, quite a bit of damage to a creature or planeswalker. But if you discard it, you can pay 3 red to create a 5/5 red elemental creature token with haste. Very cool stuff. Anyway, it might be sad that the Overrule was in the yard, but Angler of the Crushing Sea is active here, being able to be cast later from exile because of its chant mode. This is a 5/5, just straight up. Doesn't have any other effects except for when it enters, target player is going to mill 3 cards. Looks like a Primal Fisher was accidentally pulled off the top. It happens. It's a digital interface, and you know, we have to do all this stuff ourselves. Looks like Discern. Yeah, Angler to the Yard. I mean, there you go. I mean, you've got all the instants and sorceries you would want. Still only 3 different ones. Geist Blasters could be doing quite a bit more damage, but honestly, look, you have a 5/5 on the board. Now, the problem of that is it doesn't have protection itself, and Tremor's got Faithful Ascents, and it's going to have to be those 2, actually. I don't think you're going to run out a Beyond Comprehension without some white mana here. Actually, speaking of, never mind, no white mana, you don't have the white mana for most of this. Can't believe I just completely looked over that. I'm just so used to, by this point, mana bases being so good. Yeah, there's no white in Tremor's hand right now, so Mysteries of the Forbidden. We're going to look at the top X, where X is 1 plus the number of differently named instants and sorceries. I guess we have to take a peek here. There is 1, 2, and 3, so it's going to dig down for 4. One of those cards goes into your hand, the rest in the bottom in a random order. If X is 13 or greater, you get to keep all those cards. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of impulsing here. And finally, finding that Plains here. That's going to give Tremor the ability to run out some removal. I would imagine we're going to be seeing a Fateful Ascent at one point or another, but we'll see. Looks like moving to the end step, Discern gets flashback, which means the shields are down. Not that Thistral Charm could have hit it anyway, but, you know, better to do it when your opponent's shields are down. So, Fateful Ascent, cleaning up that Angler of the Crushing Sea. Great stuff here, and this controller gets a chart token, which is clue-like. It can be cracked and sacked to reveal cards until you hit a land card. Really good for the fixing. Alrighty, what do we got? More Geist Blasters, Breakthrough, Strangle, plenty of removal in the hand. It's kind of funny to see these 2 decks just absolutely loaded with removal. Nothing much to use it on. Strangle can deal, I mean, I think both of these can. I mean, all of these can kind of deal with Ivyana, if ever that comes down. But, yeah, definitely an interesting matchup here with both players just having a lot of removal in hand and just nothing really being committed to the board outside of that angler. Really awesome art. I'm a really big fan of these. The mana symbols sometimes might be a little hard to find, but I think a lot of good work was done for this. So whoever made these ones, great job out there. We're getting into the part where there's a lot of mana to play with. We're keeping an eye here on the yard because we've got surface, we've got flashbacks, a lot of value being played from the yard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 or more other cards. 6 other. Yeah, okay. I was like, I don't think we had enough there. That number essentially has to be 7 or more because it's 6 other. So no seafloor treasures here, unfortunately. Passing over to Tremor's turn. Tremor draws a 3, become 1, passes back. It's going to be a lot of draw go is what we're seeing here. So Discern, being flashback from the graveyard. Zank is going to draw a card. All the Discerns. I mean, that's what they're there for. And yes, all the wills. Interesting to note, now that Discerns are no longer in the yard, your number on your Geist Blasters goes down by 1. So I believe that puts them at only 3 damage, which could be relevant down the line. Looks like in response, we're throwing out a 3, become 1. Zangi's going to hum, but I don't believe Zangi has anything. You just have to kind of pretend that you do. This counters non-creature permanent spells. So 3, become 1. It's a draw 3. You can cast a spell with mana value 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. It's very rare. I don't think I've actually seen that first part get used. It might. You got to control an artifact. That's the Cauldron. Creature with flying, creature with 3 power, and a warlock. It costs 3 less to cast. So for 2 mana, you actually get quite a lot of value here. It's funny, between 3, become 1 and Mysteries of the Forbidden, these are just really powerful draw spells that just want you to meet a condition and then do some crazy stuff. I don't really think that it's very feasible to have 13 differently named instant and sorcery cards. I think you're really just playing it for the fact that it's a 2 mana instant that digs pretty deep and then has flashback. I don't think the maximum value out of it is what's going to happen. Pull to Stargazing, scry 1, draw a card. If you cast it from your hand, you can then discard a card, which I believe we pitched 3. Did we pitch something? Yeah, looks like Gold Knight Purgeblade joined the yard, which means that Stargazing can be recast from exile. So, very interesting card. Scry 1, draw. All right. Oh, hey, so this is an Ominous Frogs deck. That's really interesting here. Ominous Frogs is a 2/3 for 2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it pings a damage each opponent, and it gets a croak counter, and at 4 croak counters, it turns into this horrifying thing, which is whenever it attacks, you get to pick an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard with mana value 3 or less at random. You can exile it, and you can cast it without paying its mana cost. So, pretty good stuff all around. The question is here, for 1 mana, are we just running out an Angler of the Crushing Sea? Your opponent is essentially tapped out. Yeah, they probably have some removal. Yep. Okay, looks like the Misty Peak came in tapped. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, removal. None of this can essentially go face, which is really funny when you're trying to play things like Ominous Frogs, and you really rather your opponent has a board. To be fair, we've been seeing a lot of these like red-white decks, so all right, Angler coming in. We just binned a Cordelia's Ripper, which is similar to the Angler in that it costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery. Vampires too, but I'm assuming it's mostly the first 2. It's a 3/4 flying haste. When attacks, deals 2 damage to any target. That seems pretty good, honestly. And then yeah, some frogs and a Thistral Charm hit the bin here. Tremor here, going up to 8 cards in hand. Oh boy, Fuel Aplenty. The interesting thing is that, of course, this is counter-target non-creature permanent spell, so that can hit Ivyana before it resolves. And let's be honest, everything else here isn't doing too much. I mean, we're digging, we're dealing damage. Gold Knight is great if something was on the board for it to be used. And yeah, I mean, just keep throwing out Fateful Ascents. Your opponent's playing a target and just keep smacking them with it. I mean, it lets Zangi keep using Chance at the end of their turn, so that's definitely something that they can do. It's going to be really interesting picking which cards to showcase on the thumbnail. I think it's definitely going to have to be Angler of the Crushing Sea, and boy, on this end, hard to pick right now. Mysteries of the Forbidden, maybe? Let's see if anything else resolves here. I mean, obviously I would like to show Eviana, so we'll see. There's Unravel Thoughts. This is a very modal card. You pick one. If each opponent has more cards in hand than you get to pick two instead. It's either a bounce, a tap all, a counter, or a draw card. So just quite a lot of value here. All right, so chart got cracked, went for the Rousing Path, cycling the Rousing Path, drawing a card. It's another Thistral Charm. Another Misty Peak. Oh boy, we're just seeing the play sets pop out here, one after the other. Let's see. Running out your Ominous Frogs is... Your opponent's got 3 untapped. Chances are they got stuff. I mean, Lunar Awe deals with it. Unravel Thoughts deals with it. A lot of stuff deals with it. Gold Knight Purge Blade deals with it. 3 damage to a creature that entered or transformed this turn. The issue with using Gold Knight Purge Blade is your opponent can... Oh, does it work this way? If it has 4 or more Croak counters. Okay. Yeah, so your opponent could cast in response while your Ominous Frogs is on the battlefield. But in this case, you're probably not throwing Geist Blast or Breakthroughs at your own frog. I think that would kind of like defeat the purpose. So looks like we went to... Oh, that's really funny. We went to the discard. We were at 8 cards in hand. So Geist Blaster's Breakthrough gets discarded during your turn. You pay 3 red, and you get a 5/5 with haste. So you kind of missed out on dealing the 5 damage here, but I mean, let's be honest. It's there. This is really funny. Unravel Thoughts, we're bouncing and drawing. Your opponent has more cards in hand than you. So Unravel Thoughts cycles itself, and there we go. Keeping the mana up. Glimmervale, Lake, Misty Peaks are here for the Thistral Charms. There's plenty of interaction. 3 copies of Eviana in hand. Oh, that's... I mean, you can throw one after the other out. What's really interesting here, actually, I'm thinking, is Glimmervale Lake, because it becomes a copy of target creature you control for 3 mana. So if you can land your big, like Cordelia Rippers and Angler of the Crushing Sea, this is actually a pretty cheap way for 3 mana of getting another copy of a pretty scary creature. I mean, this could be red, and then 5 more. So, well, I mean, 6, because this has to activate itself. So 6 mana getting 2 of these. Pretty cool stuff you can do. Okay, so it looks like we're going with Seafloor Treasures. This is a surface from the yard. The numbers are correct here. Diggin' for cards. I was a big fan of this artwork. It's very nice. Brings me back to my favorite generation of Pokemon, Gen 3. I absolutely love Hoenn. It's just way too good. Mountain being played here. I mean, the hand is stacked, but we're not at 5 mana anymore, so it's not going to be an Eviana. Looks like we're passing. Looks like we're discarding down. Looks like Deafening Clarion is going out of here. I think that's reasonable. Your opponent's clearly showing you that they're just playing these really big anglers and rippers here. It's probably not the Clarion that you want. You've got better stuff in hand. I mean, Beyond Comprehension deals with it. 3 damage deals with the frogs, which is probably what you want more than a Sorcery Speed Sweep. And you got some dig. So I totally agree with that. I mean, I think you do keep your 3 copies of Eviana, because eventually you're going to want to start slamming 1, then 2, then 3. So here we go. Trying to do frogs, and now let's see what we do. Frogs resolves. So the question is it going to be a Gold Knight? I'm thinking Gold Knight. I think that's what I would do, because it gets a body on the board. Yeah, okay. So looks like we're going to be... Oh, see, it's a creature. You can't Thistral Charm it. You don't have a token, and you're not going to throw 3 damage at your own creature battle to trigger a ping and a Croak counter. It'd be really funny if you had like 4 1-mana instants and you could flip it, but you can't. So there's Gold Knight Purgeblade. It's going to ETB. I wonder if I'm missing something from the... I don't see anything with the flashback. Thistral can deal damage to the creature, but it won't stop the 3 damage to target creature. So, still looks like we're taking it out. So both creatures are going to go. So you get at least 1 ping from the Ominous Frogs before it hits the yard. So there we go. Everything's dead. I think it was going to be hard to find value off those Thistral Charms. I mean, I don't know if you know that your opponent is packing a ton of Evianas. I think the Thistral Charm dealing with them is a really good thing here. Yeah, so Cockatrice, sometimes, little things to keep in mind as you are clicking through. It's always worth keeping an eye on that. So yeah, I mean, obviously with Revolution, my goal is to play in this month's Grand Prix at least. Would be really fun. I want to get some league in, but I definitely want to start doing more recording and showcasing people here in the community who are playing these matches. I think the format is fantastic. The new sets are exciting. It's been fun being really hyped for this. So hopefully you are enjoying the matchups. I mean, we're just here in game 1. It's a bit of a grind, but you know what? It's not bad. I like that it's a grind, but with interaction. That's always better than just 2 players, let's say, ramping or not much doing here. So, alrighty. So, cycling aplenty, drawing aplenty. I mean, Zangi's down to 23 cards in the library. I'm assuming we're looking for other rippers. There's 3 anglers in the bin. I don't know if the opponent is on only if Zangi's on 3 or 4 of these. I would assume there's a finite amount, and I don't know if the full playset is necessarily what you want. I think it's not that bad, the fact that they have a chant mode, right, that you can just play them as a mill. But I'm sure that there's other rippers out here. Well, hey, talking about new cards, here's Path of Scales. So operations are newly typed also as enchantments. I think that's an awesome change because, they stick around, and it does give you the ability to remove them in other ways because damage doesn't really do much here, right? So as it enters, the opponent's going to protect it. When Path of Scales enters, you're going to look at the top 5. 2 of them are going to go into your hand, the rest on the bottom. So honestly, pretty good just for the ETB. When you smack it enough and it goes to 3 defense, so you have to deal 3 damage to it, creatures you don't control get -1, -0. And then defeated is whenever you cast a non-creature, non-battle spell, you get to copy it. So it ends up doing a lot when it finally is dealt 6 damage. So unfortunately, these are creatures or planeswalkers. You cannot throw this burn at the battles. So something to keep in mind. Wish I had my anti-enchantment card now. Was one of them bin that I didn't notice? Oh yeah, well I mean Fateful Ascents, but these were used on creatures and stuff. And I guess Gold Knight Purgeblade, right? Exile an artifact or an enchantment. Looks like we dug for another Path of Scales. Oh boy, that's some fun stuff here. I like the value of this card. I think 4 mana, digging 5 to put 2, really not that bad. And then of course the final defeated mode is very cool. So Zangi's going to think a little bit about what card to bring out here. I don't think we get to see what they're looking at. Oh no, nope. It's just tap. We don't actually get to see it, which is fine. Looks like Strangle, Lorespire, Bluff, neat, and Mountain went to the bottom, and it looks like the Thought Scour went to the hand. So more draw, more mill. It's really funny. Your opponent, you're at 20 cards. There is a finite amount of turns you can take and mill that you can do before things are going to get a little dicey. I don't think there's a Lab Maniac in this deck or in the format, period. So I guess we'll have to see. Looks like we're playing 4. We're playing another Path of Scales. These are not legendary. You can have as many of them on the field as you want. Tremor is answering with, So it's not really a response to it here. This deals 3 damage to a target, but you can't exactly target the enchantment. Beyond Comprehension just nukes the creatures, so there you go. Interesting thing, though, no more Thistral Charms in your hand, so you did get a lot of good value here, but you are down to 1 mana, and I think this is the part where your opponent's going to slam an Eviana here. Find a dragon card from outside the game. Yeah, probably dies to a Strangle, but then you got another Eviana, and, you know, depending on how much mana that other dragon is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you can get a ninth land, I mean, there's something there. It's kind of hard without seeing the sideboards, and I don't believe I can do that. No, that would be not a very good idea if spectators could do that. So, at the end step here, Mysteries of the Forbidden. Gonna dig for a lot. I closed the yard here a while ago. It was starting to take up too much. We're at 10. You know what? I didn't think we were going to be able to reach 13, but I am very wrong here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're actually pretty close to being able to attain the 13. It could be a Lunar Awe, a Death Deflection. That's 2 more. That would be 12, and then there would have to be just 1 more instant or sorcery in the yard. And then, yeah, Mysteries of the Forbidden could actually hit 13 and let you draw something like 13 cards. It's pretty wild stuff. Looks like we went and found a Geist Blaster's breakthrough, though, here. Which, of course, deals, you know, a ton of damage. Pass through a lot of lands, I guess. Yeah. So, all right. Well, there's Evianas, right? You get to activate the -2. Your opponent's throwing out a Geist Blaster's breakthrough. You can Death Deflection. I think that's a fine idea here. Keeping that Eviana around is actually really big. The fact that you don't have to now cast that second one from hand, and you're going to be able to, or well, you know, you think you're going to be able to untap. Like your opponent's got Strangles, that's going to strangle an Eviana, that's for sure. Looks like we went and found Asulio the Watchful Star. Pretty wild stuff. This is a blue counter a non-creature spell, and then 7 blue for a 10/10 flyer. When you cast it, reveal up to 2 non-creature cards you own from outside the game and put them into your hand. So it wishes for more stuff. So, you know, wishing to wish. So it goes to the hand. So there it is. No mana to use it, though, and these treasures come into play tap now. I believe they used to come into play untapped, but no, now they are tapped. So it's harder to immediately use the adventure modes of the dragons. It's really cool how in Rev, because you know the sets that are in the format and there's fewer of them, you can really design your own sets. So for example, Eviana was in a set that predates these, you know, legendary dragons that have all these adventures, but it's just so nice how they fit together. Like that's the kind of synergy that I'm really here for, and one of the reasons why Rev has been so exciting to me, you know, for now. I really wish though that I could, yeah, okay, let's clean this up a little bit. It's a little messy out here on the board, but I want to make sure that we're keeping track of what's in the yard. 1 mana off. Are we doing really gross things with Cordelia's Rippers and double Glimmervale Lakes? I think that's what I would imagine, right? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? Yeah, so... Okay, so it's what I said earlier. Glimmervale Lake. I mean, Geist Blaster's breakthrough is going to just absolutely, blow up the Ripper here, I would imagine. Unravel Thoughts is going to counter it. You have less... No, you have the same amount of cards, so you do not get the double mode. But you do get a double Cordelia's. That's actually good because it means you can throw 1 of the 2 damage and pop Eviana without using a card from your hand. Never mind, we can also just use Strangle. Better use it from instead and just pile on the damage. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tremor's going to go to 3. That was a really big swing here. And yeah, was not able to exactly do a double Glimmervale Lake, but yeah, I mean, one of them really did its job. It's pretty cool here that your fixing, also doubles as a pretty good payoff for all these really big beats. So wonder at like what mana cost that Cordelia's Ripper feels pretty good. 5 mana, maybe 6 starting to feel a little big. Yeah, 5 mana. So 4 cards in the yard. It's pretty easy to get to, especially if you're milling yourself. I mean, a good Angler of the Crushing Sea, right? Mill 3 cards can get you pretty much there, depending on what you pull. Thought Scour doing a lot of the work here. Looks like we drew a Spite. Yep, Spite of the Founder, 5 mana, exile all creatures. If you control a Tesh Planeswalker, you exile all creatures you don't control instead. So, 4 toughness here with Cordelia's Ripper. I mean, you've got to be on comprehension if you really want to. Your opponent is completely tapped out. You are at 3, though, so getting rid of the Ripper is definitely worth it. The question is, how are you going to do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can cast Asulio. I'm not sure you'll tutor stuff that gets you the win here, but I mean, 10 mana is still a lot. Ivyana deals X damage, where X is 2 plus twice the number of dragons you control. So that's not 4 either. No dragons on the field for now. I mean, my gut says Spite of the Founder, just because it's more expensive and it's harder to sequence later, but depends if you're doing anything else on this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maybe you want to also run out Ivyana, so you use one of your treasures to do Beyond Comprehension Ivyana, so you're not paying 10 mana. It is tricky. Don't you worry about that, Tremor. I would also be thinking pretty heavy here in the tank. Yeah. All right, let's see. We tapped. Okay, so it looks like I was right. We're going with Spite of the Founder to exile the nuclear option. I mean, sometimes the nuclear option is what you want. That's another card here for the instants and sorceries. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Access 13 here on Mysteries of the Forbidden. That gives you a really big pull. Okay, looks like we're going to keep up options. So Asulio for non-creatures and Lunar Awe for creatures. Frog coming out. That's actually pretty scary because, it's counter all activated and triggered abilities from that source, but it's only when it's dealt damage. So you cast the frog, it hits the field. Glimmervale Lake becomes a copy of the frog. Oh no. Lunar Awe pointed at the frog. Oh, this is where it gets really interesting, because there's Thought Scourers in hand, right? And your opponent is at 3. So the question is, you could go, is there one in the yard with flashback? No, huh? But you can just Glimmervale Lake the other frog. That's swinging for 4. And then Thought Scour. You don't even have to. Thought Scour is just a 3 damage here on the ping. 1, 2, and 3 frog triggers. And Thought Scour triggers from hand. And that's going to be GG here. Phew. Okay, wow. Big stuff here. I wonder if the post sideboard is going to be particularly different. I mean, you can tell that the main boards were definitely built to deal with a lot of board presence, and it didn't end up really happening. So I can assume we're going to see some sideboarding. Let's just pause a little bit, and then when the both players are ready to come back for game 2, we'll get started right away. All right, and we're back. Both players have finished sideboarding. Looks like Tremor is going to be on the play here, drawing a hand of 7 cards. We've got Wind-Beaten Stones, we've got Misty Peak. Nice to have both, or at least all 3 colors. Didn't have a lot of other stuff, though. I saw it happen. So keeping 6, I would absolutely agree here. You got a lot of cool stuff here. You got the mana that you need to cast all your stuff. You could probably even throw back one of the lands, I would imagine, because Discern and Gold Knight Purge Blade are some early removal and a bit of a dig. And then Ivyana as a top end here. Looks like the mountain goes back. Yep, that's what I figured. I'm going to start with a Rousing Path untapped. That's what's nice about the paths. They are pretty good as your first 2 lands. Misty Peak here coming in. 2 damage, discern. Love how fast these early things are. Opponents aren't interacting quite yet. Over on Zangi's side, Thought Scours, Geist Blasters, and Cordelia Rippers already in the hand. These could be coming out pretty fast, depending on what Tremor finds here. We got a Primal Fissure. Enters tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands, so it's, you know, a little bit of a bigger path. And the fact that you can crack it, and it's an Evolving Wilds, except it comes into play untapped. Great card. There's a reason it sees a lot of play. All right, Discern of Zangi's Own here. We're at the 3rd Cordelia's Ripper. Let's start looking at the graveyards. We're already at 2 instants or sorceries in the yard. Call me crazy, but I got a feeling that these Cordelia Rippers are going to be out here faster than you think. And at 4 toughness, they definitely dodged that Gold Knight Purge Blade. Seafloor Treasures on Tremor's side here. Only 1 Discern, but I mean, Discern is the one with the flashback, so... before you start flashbacking, I think you're going to want to dig a little deeper to fill up that bin. Unravel Thoughts is not going to be the card to do it. Geist Blaster's Breakthrough has no targets right now. Thistral Charm neither, actually. So I'm going to have to get up to that 3rd land here for Unravel Thoughts. I'm assuming Primal Fissure is going to go find a mountain, and then Glimmervale Lake can enter untapped. That would be my my hazard here. I'm assuming we're going to see it cracked here at the end step. Here we go. This is Gold Knight Purge Blade mana. Yeah, there's that mountain I was talking about. You know, as always, if I miss something, definitely blast me in the comments. That you don't get better at doing commentary and playing by, you know, pretending that, you know everything. So if I miss something, an interaction, like, you know, last match, I failed to realize that Tremor was not packing white, but I'm hearing an oh, hold on. Okay. Okay, looks like maybe something was happening in real life here for Zangi. Looks like we're good. Passing over here, drawing a card. Oh, hey, Frostfire Geyser. So really funny that these cards are also MSCM land staples. So between the paths and these, it's nice to see some MSCM, you know, mana coming out here. And yeah, it's nice to see Glimmervale Lake. I think it's really interesting. I think this is pretty solid as a creature land. I mean, yes, you do need to have the creature, but, you know, getting to be an untapped fixing is not horrible either. So 3 mana means Unravel Thoughts is live. That gets you to your 3rd instant and sorcery. You're at 7. Your opponent is also at 7. Your opponent just drew. Casting the Unravel Thoughts would put you at 6. It's kind of weird. You have to keep track of your opponent's hand size, but, you know, it's not the easiest, but, you know, in this case, I mean, yeah, drawing a card and the counter is probably what you're going to do, so. Okay, looks like we're willing to crack the Discern and let the Cordelia stuff happen a little later. I totally get that. Ominous Frogs. I mean, if you're digging for some stuff to do, I don't see that as a problem. Primal Fissure would enter tapped now, unfortunately, but Frostfire Geysers would enter untapped, considering now that there's a basic mountain. So 2 mana, Ominous Frogs. Assuming it's going to be Gold Knight Purge Bladed. It's going to get purged. Here we go. In response, are we firing off anything? Nope. No mana for Unravel Thoughts. I guess you go hum, so your opponent thinks that you maybe have something. I'm going to assume we're going to Geist Blaster, break through the Gold Knight, use the mana efficiently. You have nothing else. No, that's not true. Hold up. Thistral Charm can also work. And I can hit non-creature. Never mind. You hold up the Thistral Charm. I missed it in the whole full art thing here. Yeah, I think you take 2. If your opponent's about to hit the 5 mana and you know it's an Iviana deck, you might want the Thistral Charm. I definitely agree that just taking the 2 damage is totally fine. Opponent passes. Now you use the Geist Blaster's Breakthrough. You took 2 damage, but in the end you stayed open, and you know it could have been a really important turn for Thistle Charm to take take out an Ivyana. Nice thing about Gold Knight, it's only a 1 toughness, so Geist Blasters just does the job. Drew into a second Ominous Frog, otherwise known as a Ribbit over here, and I think this one's going to probably eat a Fateful Ascent. Yeah, there it is. You can't counter that with a Thistral Charm, so I guess it just gets charted. Nice thing about chart is you got the mana to use it, and that's going to get you your 6th land here. Shame about the frogs, I definitely agree. Alright, firing off Mysteries of the Forbidden. Looks like we're digging 3 down. 1, 2, 3. Looks like a yes. Again, Thistle Charm can't hit it. Charm only hits artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers, battles, etc. So, and it can deal with creatures or battles with the first mode. Alrighty, moving on up. We're at 6th land. A lot of this being able to be done at instant speed is just really, really nice. Gives you a lot of flexibility to just be like, hey, I'm going to draw my card, passing it over to you. I'll deal with stuff as it happens. Looks like we're going for a tapped Lucent Basin and just keeping options open. Zangi's going to crack the chart. There's not a card for Seafloor, but Mysteries of the Forbidden has the flashback, and Geist Blasters as well. And there's Silent Lakefront. Is it 5 mana or 6 mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5. Okay, so you have Silent Lakefront mana out here. So it's a counter spell that you gain 3 life for 5. And then worst case, you get to play it out. I really like this cycle of lands from air. I really want to play with them in cube. In fact, it's one of the things that I want to build is a rotating Revolution cube that I can carry around and showcase the format to people. So probably something I'm going to start working on this weekend as we enjoy the new cards and all the changes that some cards have had. So okay, Overrule Will being drawn here. So not in the bin. Still a little hard to get those numbers up for Cordelia Rippers. 4 toughness means Geist Blaster. We're already at Geist Blaster numbers here. So it's the standoff. It's really 2 players, guns loaded, just, you know, pointing removal and stuff at each other. So there's hard counterspell, some burn, taxing counterspell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't hit the Ivyana if it goes that way. But you know what? You keep drawing lands. You keep playing stuff out. Rousing Path. I agree. Going up here is still good. I think maybe in a few you would be at the point where you wanted to start cycling them. But I think for now it's totally fine. Speaking of new cards. Okay, so you know what? Tremor might actually be in a, not singleton, but probably is running a lot of singletons, in this case, Unveil, to get that Mysteries of the Forbidden up to a pretty high number. That's really interesting. I think the card I still showcased is Ivyana. I mean, I think that still looks like a key card here, but it's really cool that Mysteries actually does seem obtainable, which is absolutely totally wild. Loading up on Unravels. Oh boy. Again, these 2 decks are not committing much to the board, but looks like finally we went for it. So here's Ivyana. Looks like we're going to see, I would imagine, we're going to fire off the Unravels. Don't have both modes, but just counter mode. And there you go. Unveil and Overrule just simply don't have the depth to get rid of it. And you didn't have to use a Thistle Charm, which is actually quite good here. This feels pretty big for Zangi's turn here. The 3rd instant or sorcery in the yard puts these down to slightly more reasonable. You definitely want more, but we're getting there. Oh boy, Layspire. So 1/5 defender, when it enters, you exile each opponent's graveyard. If a card we put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Yeah, that's a good card against this deck. I'm assuming it's going to get... Oh, Unravel Thoughts, I would imagine. No, okay, it's Seafloor Treasures here? Okay. Does it have Flash? No, it just has Defender. Okay, looks like Seafloor Treasures. Wonder if the point here is to kind of feed it out. But that definitely rips up your opponent's stuff. The one thing I'm noticing, though, it's a 1/5, 5 toughness, not bad. I mean, Geist Blaster's breakthrough can eventually get through it. We're at 4 here, doesn't take much more. But, 3 damage has seemed, just from the brief hours of watching around, seems to be where things are these days. Drawing an island, because now that we have strangles and stuff like that, and the 3 damage sweepers, looks like 4 toughness is a decently safe place. But I mean, Geist Blaster's breakthrough definitely showcasing its strength here. These just do a lot of damage, and they're instant speed, and they have a backup mode that gives you a win condition. Really big fan of these. Okay. End step, looks like we're flashbacking Mysteries of the Forbidden, and it looks like Overrule Will is going to counter and fill up the yard. So 3 cards. Geist Blaster, Thought Scour. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at 6 in the yard. These things are down to 3 mana. Just need 1 more, and they're only 2 mana. It's going to get pretty scary. Got a feeling that this is the kind of turn where you either want to lay Spire or you're a bit in trouble. I think making them go back to costing 9 is probably a good thing here. The problem is your opponent has an Unravel Thoughts, right? And they've got a bunch of extra mana just lying around. You've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 4. That's not enough for Silent Lakefront. So tapping 3. Here's the Unravel. Do you have enough for an Overrule? No, sorry. Unveil is what? Counter unless X. X is 3. Pay 3. You'd have to tap. That would tap out your opponent. So no, I guess you go. Oh, was there an Unravel Thoughts that I didn't see in their hand? That's really embarrassing. I'm just looking at other stuff. Okay, well, there's Unravel Thoughts. Counter the counter. Whoops. Still more cards in hand, though. The question is, you don't... Rude. Yeah, no kidding. In response to the ETB, okay. Okay. But the ETB will still happen, so the graveyard will still be exiled. It just won't stop future cards from being put into exile. Okay. That's a very good use. And there we go. The graveyard is gone. I don't have to look at it for a bit. The truth is, though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we draw our 9th, didn't draw our 9th. If we had drawn our 9th mana, we could still have, Zangi could still have dropped a Cordelia's Ripper and started putting in pressure. But now it's going to be a little harder. Forbidden Treasure is counter an instant or sorcery, right? Yeah. And it searches its controller's graveyard, hand, library for any number of cards with the same name and exiles them. So, I mean, honestly, Tremor with a lot of Singleton here, it's not too bad. I mean, there's probably playsets of Geist Blaster and Mysteries, but, hey, Layspire, it might be 3 mana, but in this format, that did a lot right here. We pass back to Zangi. I think we're going to try and resolve a Frog. I think that Frog is not long for this world. You get a chance really to look at Collected Thoughts here. Let me just show that off here. Look at the top 6. One of them into your hand. Cast an instant or sorcery with mana value 3 or less from among the other cards without paying its mana cost. So, pretty cool. Looks like we're doing Glimmervale Lake again. So it becomes a copy of Ominous Frogs. Purgeblade takes out the original. I love the every time. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you've got Thistral Charm to deal 3 damage, Forbidden Treasure to counter an instant or sorcery. That puts you to being able to cast a Cordelia's Ripper. Ripper deals 2 damage to any target. It's a good way of getting rid of Purgeblade. So, taking the 2. Yep. And then end step, Thistral Charm. Overrule Will. Zangi did not have the 2 here. And Tremor's milling themselves. Good call. Let's not mill the opponent. Treasures, Syscall. Oh, Syscall is here. Very cool. I like Syscall a lot. It's a really weird subroutine. Whenever it loops back over to it, X and a blue draw X cards. If it ran this turn, big fan. Okay, so Discern, we're now at 2. It's really funny because neither player has like essentially peeked at each other's hands. So Tremor doesn't know that there's just like 3 Rippers in hand. So there's the first one, which is going to get either overruled or unveiled, I would imagine. So expensive. Yeah, it's expensive. You know what? Is that true? Or do you just Geist Blasters it? Because that's what you're saving your Geist Blasters for, is these creatures, right? So start a combat, but before attacks, yeah, you just let's use the actual removal that doesn't go on anything else to take care of stuff, and keep the unveil, the overrule to deal with stuff from the hand. Yeah, there was no room to have a Forbidden Treasure up with this. These Rippers are costing 7 right now. No, yeah, okay. They're costing 7. C4 Treasures. Tremor's in the driver's seat here. Zangi's going to be trying to drop a Ripper once per turn, and that's pretty much it. And they're costing a lot right now, so these counterspells actually have room to do stuff. It's not a great way to win by chipping 2 damage at a time, but it is a way to win. Like, if your opponent doesn't get to land anything. Here we go. All right, Fisher getting cracked. Both players below the halfway point for their libraries. Wonder if we're going to have a game 3 here, if Zangi can pull out a win. All right, so there's Rousing Path. Looks like we're going for a Ripper. No mana to copy one, though. You know what? Oh, I almost wonder if you wait to get countered by a Silent Lakefront. I almost wonder if you... Well, I mean, if your opponent's just counterspelling, it doesn't matter. But it would be nice to have the option to Glimmervale Lake one. But that's 2 down. Gold Knight going to continue the work here. I mean, I don't really think you need to play the other one out until your opponent really gives you something to target it. Your removal here is at a premium. You know your opponent has enchantments that you might want to deal with. So, there we go. Collected Thoughts. I'm going to dig pretty deep. How are we on Instants and Sorcery in the Yard? We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ones. So, looks like Forbidden Treasure coming out, trying to counter Collected Thoughts and get rid of it, but it's going to get overruled and allowing Tremor to mill 3 more cards. Lucent Basin, Silent Lakefront, and a Stargazing. Collected Thoughts will resolve. We're going to go top 6 here for Tremor. One of those to your hand. The other one, if it's an instant or sorcery with mana value 3 or less, you're going to cast without paying its mana cost, and the rest is going to get bottomed. So, looks like a Helia Lay Spire was drawn again. Nice to see another one. That's really just going to keep Zangi off a lot of stuff here. Unfortunately, it's a whiff for the instants and sorceries, unfortunately. It happens. It happens. At 2 mana, you're probably keeping it open, I would imagine, for an unveil. 1, 2, 3. So this is actually at 6. Okay. Oh, looks like you're tapping out. Oh, I love how it just brings out the programs in the subroutine. Cool stuff. All right. It's going to start on A as of the next turn. I believe that's how it works. So I imagine you system call it on A, and yep. So that's going to give you a lot of fuel. The one thing is your shield's down, and Cordelia's Ripper is here. So is Angler. Angler costs 3 less. So puts it at 4 mana for a 5/5 that enters and mills 3. You could maybe get lucky. I don't know. I feel you probably want to land the Ripper first. No? Because you can cast this for the chant and then for the other one. Or actually, you can chant first, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you've got 3 in the yard. So you can actually do the chant to mill 3, hopefully get the Cordelia's Ripper cheaper. This could be a good turn here. And the Ripper, because of the haste 2 damage, can probably throw that and get rid of the Gold Knight. I don't think we can weave in a Glimmervale Lake into here. Depends on what we chant. Imagine you chanted 3 perfect instants and sorceries. You would save a lot more. I mean, this would be down to 3 mana, and then you could maybe Glimmervale Lake. So let's see what happens. Nope, looks like we're just running out Angler. Big bod here. And I guess we're hopeful that we mill 3 things that we want. Let's see what we get. 1 instant and sorcery puts it at 4. That puts it down to 5 mana. Oh boy, that's just enough. Okay, I guess you really just needed the 1. No Glimmervale Lake shenanigans on the Ripper, but you can Glimmervale shenanigans on the Angler to swing for a big 5 points of damage here. Not bad. Ripper's still in hand. Maybe I undervalued just swinging in for big 5/5s, and that thing being big enough to crack through a Lay Spire. I don't think you've seen your opponent draw the Lay Spire because... let's check it real quick. Was this revealed? No, it's look. So I don't think Zangi knew that a second Lay Spire was in the hand. Oh, there you go. There's the no. I don't know. Maybe running out the Ripper as well would have been good. I mean, let's be honest. You have the mana to play Ripper just straight up. And let's also be honest. Now you can just do Glimmervale Lakes, and swing with 3 5/5s. So you're at 8. Sure, your opponent has 1 blocker. Did we opt not to do Syscall? Or is it at the end step? Or it's main phase. It's not at the upkeep. Nice. That's a lot cleaner. I keep forgetting that you don't have to use it at the beginning of your turn. So just gonna draw a ton of cards here. Plays out an untapped land. That's a Geist Blaster's Breakthrough, and that's going to be big enough to deal with pretty much anything on the board here. There it goes. You definitely want to do that now, because otherwise your opponent's going to Glimmervale Lake and swing at you for 15. The interesting thing here is we have a Strangle into a Ripper. If anything, that's... Nope, looks like we're just going for the Ripper, and we're keeping the Strangle for something else. So, Hardcast Ripper, no response. 3/4, swinging in, 2 damage at the 2/1. This does not have reach. 3 damage to face. Your opponent is on a 2-turn clock because this can do 5 and then 5. So, and I don't think the math would have changed if you had used the Strangle. Your opponent would be at 7, and then you still have to swing twice. So, not a lot of burn going face is one of the things here, obviously. So the reach is a little harder, but you've got removal of plenty. So now the question is, your opponent can deal with your Ripper by using... Nope, never mind. It has to be entered this turn. So, Ivyana? Are we just running out Ivy? Yeah, that's what I figure. That lets you do it because you can do 2 damage. Oh. Or you can go fetch a dragon that's going to do the trick. I don't know what the dragon sideboards are, so we'll have to see which one it is. Well, hold up. What just happened here? You just did the treasures. Shouldn't you get rid of those? Yeah. So no treasures. That's... Okay. So that's I thought that's what we were going to be doing, is the 2 damage and the 2 damage from Lunar Awe. That's kind of where I thought this was heading to. Land out, Death Deflection, Unveil, and a Purge Blade in hand. So interaction aplenty. Strangle is not big enough to deal with an Ivyana at +1. If it was the -2, sure. Discern happens first. We're back to 1 card in the yard. Oh, this is really interesting, actually. Oh, sorry, exiled. True, I keep forgetting Lay Spire is continuous. Gross. I mean, You've only got the 2 mana? And subroutine is at B. It's a little hard to remember to keep tracking the subroutines. It's so yeah. Oh, interesting. I like how that's being done. Some people just put a little yellow tab. So here's frogs. I mean, your opponent's still going to have Death Deflection. So 2 mana, 3 mana, Glimmervale Lake, copy of the frogs. So now you've got both. Oh, that's actually really interesting because it's a 2/3, so you can swing. If your opponent blocks with the Lay Spire, you can strangle it. So is that not what's happening here? Yeah, were you going for the second Glimmervale? Anyway, it's fine. Okay, blocked. Strangled. 2 pings. The message was a lie. I love it. All right, double ping to Tremor. Lay gets beaten, or yeah, because I mean, Death Deflection. Your opponent has the 2, right? And green croaking, so counters on each of them. If they get to 4, I don't think this can transform, but if this one gets to 4, you're going to be able to start casting instants and sorceries again. The question is, do you... No. Really? Oh, boy. Is it just an unveil, tax them for 1, force them to tap down 1 land, and then just to get the chart token? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you tap, you pay it, you get the chart. Spire is dead. Strangle, I believe, is still exiled because it hits the bin, I think, before the Spire hits the yard itself. And now you got an Ivyana at 5. Gold Knight Purge Blade can't hit it. Okay, we know there's a lot here. I'm going to close this graveyard here. It's getting a little nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's big numbers. You're going to have to believe me that there's big numbers here. So Ivyana's going to do the -2, reveal a dragon card from outside the game into the hand, get 2 tapped dragons. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can definitely cast the big blue one that we saw earlier, the one that lets you wish for 2 cards. Is that the one we're going for? Yep. 10/10 flyer. There it is. And that's GG. Okay. Oh boy, everybody. We are going to a game 3. Nice long match just to get us started. I'll be honest, I'm excited for supper after this. So we'll give the players a chance to sideboard, I guess, once more if they need to, and then we'll be back with the match as soon as they're ready. All right, we're back. Game 3. What a marathon. What a great way to start this off. I love it. I mean, obviously, it looks like it's a lot because we're already at the hour, but don't forget, playing on a digital platform takes a little more time than when you're just playing in paper. There's a lot of, you have to, type your stuff rather than if you're on a voice chat. So it's normal that it takes a little bit more time, but you know what? We're here to support the format. We're here to have some fun. Everything else can wait. All right. Opening hand with already a Lay Spire here, Stargazing, Unravel Thoughts, C4 Treasures, and Fateful Ascent. I think by now we've seen every card in these decks, though I wouldn't be surprised if Tremor maybe has another one-off that just hasn't shown up in the past. Over here, pretty similar start. We've got some lands, Forbidden Treasure, Path of Scales, Discern, and Thistral Charm. So great stuff all around. Speaking of Discern, there it is. I'm going to pull up a Unravel Thoughts of Zangi's Own over here. Looks like Silent Lakefront got cashed in for a tapped island. Hopefully there's a third land coming out here soon. Looks like a no. Alrighty. 2 lands. I mean, you can dig. There's Stargazing. There's Seafloor Treasures. not out of the woods here. Zangi's definitely already going to be able to move on up. I think we're going to do the same thing as last time. Primal Fisher is going to go get a mountain. Means your Glimmervale Lakes can come in. And in response, Seafloor Treasures, just to make sure that your opponent is not countering that to stop you from finding your lands. Did we find one? We did. Rousing Path. Is going to enter tap, though, because we're at 2 other lands. It's going to delay the Lay Spire, but that does mean that there's time to play it out. The one concern would be if it gets countered. So, yep, looks like we're just holding things up. Nothing else to be played anyway, so... Rousing Path, enter tapped. You've got 2 mana. That's a Discern if you need to, or a Stargazing. End step. Flashback that Discern. Get the value out of it while you can. There we go. Angler. We're off to the races. Angler is going to be costing 6 right now. But Chant for Blue here is actually quite good. You play out that Glimmervale Lake. You can play it. You can keep up Unravel Thoughts and everything else. Nope, looks like we're just keeping up everything but that. So here's Discern, drawing a card. Geist Blaster's Breakthrough here in the hand for Tremor. Gives you the removal. Are we finding a 4th land? No, we're finding more Geist Blasters. I mean, that's great. You know, you're already at 3 instants and sorceries here. That means that 4 damage, you're actually just 1 away from being able to deal with Angler, and you can already deal with the Rippers. You're at the right number. The Game of Discernment. Yeah, well, good cards will be good cards. There's Stargazing coming out. Looking at the top 1. Let's see what happens next. Primal Fisher. I'm assuming we're going to keep Primal Fisher, but maybe you discard something? I don't know. I'm not sure you want to discard either of your Heliospires. I mean, if your opponent deals with 1, you kind of want the backup. Unravel Thoughts might be hard to sequence. Okay, Geist Blaster's Breakthrough. Sure, I totally get that as well. Primal Fisher comes into play tapped. Already got 3 other lands. So there's Unravel Thoughts. Oh, you know what? That's my mistake. I forgot that Chant isn't just cast it. You have to add it to another card. So the target player mills 3 cards was added to Unravel Thoughts. It happened only once, and I apologize. It's not ideal. And yeah, oof, bad mill here. Lands. Faces of the Faceless. Oh boy. Cards can't leave graveyards. And just 1 Unravel Thoughts. Yeah. But played 1 from hand. Resolves. Cards can no longer leave the graveyards, including by being cast. So no more surfacing, no more flashbacking. It's really interesting because that definitely affects you too, but you got your Discern off, so it is what it is. Does it affect anything else from the deck? I'm trying to think. It doesn't stop from tutoring or wishing, so really it's just going to slow down the flashbacking card draw here. So there's a Stargazing. Cast, of course, from Exile. And no, you can't keep chaining them once you've cast it, because it's only cast from your hand. So, Pound of Plains. 4 mana is available here. All the colors are there. That means you've got Unravel Thoughts is up with the Geist Blasters. You've got Cursory Glance. Got a few things here. Player is really struggling to land a creature long-term here with the removal that there is. I could see some creature-based decks kind of struggling to stick some stuff. Though, to be fair, I saw how fast and how wide some of these other decks went. So, something to keep in mind. Here's Lorespire Bluff. This is the one that cracks for draw 2. Yeah. Okay, well, we've pretty much seen all these counterspells and interaction before, so it's really just going to be a question of who manages to pop off first. Anglers here can be cast from exile, but like we said, Zangi's Yard is currently a little frail with just only 1 instant or sorcery there. It means it's still a 6 mana card. It's easily counterspelled by an Unravel Thoughts, not by a Glance. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Geist Blaster's Breakthrough also already has the power to deal with an Angler of the Crushing Sea. Alrighty. Upkeep, draw, the usual. No running anything out. Okay, it's not Path of Scales time quite yet. It's also kind of funny because as long as both players are running Unravel Thoughts, you don't want to be like crazy high up on cards. Kind of a funny metagame there. I'm just drawing more stuff, passing the turn. Oh boy. Exciting gameplay. But when two players just have to find that wiggle room to get through, it is what it is. Eventually there'll be enough lands out that it's worth going for it, you know? It's not going to be now, though. 7 cards to 7 cards. Both players have full hands. There you go. My kingdom for a creature land. No kidding. I mean, there is a creature land. The problem with Glimmerveils is you need a creature. Yeah, there you go. Wish I could turn to a blank 3/3 at times. But you know what? It's okay. There's Eviana. I'm assuming we're going to go with a 2 mana. It's going to be an Unravel Thoughts here. Right? No? Oh, sorry. Thistral Charm is also here. You use Thistral absolutely 100%. I keep blanking just because the art is full art, and I keep being like, that's not a real card. All right, so Thistle Charm gets Cursory Glanced, and we're going to probably fire off, I would say, a Overrule here. So trying to get the mill 3 now that you can weave it in. Ooh. These mills are really not good. Just 2 more lands and one of your anglers. Ugh. Not what you're looking to happen. You want to get these instant sorceries. But let's be honest, you just threw out 2 of them. You're at 3. Your angler now costs 4 mana. So it's a lot more reasonable, and your opponent is tapped down. So they have used up everything here. So on the turn you're passed back, I mean, depends what you're going to throw out, but 1, 2, 3, 4. If you get an untapped land... Nope, never mind. We're still short to do the Glimmerveil trick, so. Shame. Let's see what's drawn. Rousing Path. It is what it is. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Tapping slightly differently. Okay, no, it looks like we're going for Path of Scales instead. I mean, yeah, if you smack a Path of Scales, the value you get off cast doubling up on all your non-creatures, non-battles is kind of nuts. So I definitely agree. You're going to dig for top 5, get 2 cards. Nice. Okay. Misty Peak. And Unravel Thoughts. All right. More hard counterspells. Good stuff here. Misty Peak plays 2. You've got 3 mana. Now you can access. Now you can cast Unravel Thoughts. And your opponent's at 6. You're at 6. You'll be at 5 when you cast. You'll be under, but so will they because they'll cast. So you'll be even. And if you play a land, even less so. So really interesting stuff. Going for the end. Looks like it's a cycle Rousing Path that cannot be Silent Lakefront. Ripper here, that's big. Your opponent is also holding up like 1,000,000 cards, though. 1,000,000. So, you know, you got what? 3. Still pretty expensive at 5. Looks like we're still passing a little bit. This reminds me a lot of Dan Dan. It's really funny to say. Just this sort of when do you throw out the fish? Getting these attacks in, a lot of value over the cards, the library, the graveyard. Good stuff all around. Big fan here. Passing it right back. Just saying, nah, it's fine. I'll play out a land. You can. Or we didn't even play a land this time here. Looks like we're going for Thought Scour. Okay, Thought Scour is big. Come on, come on. Okay, there you go. Now there's 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, now we're at 6. I keep saying we. Zangi's at 6. 6 is a big number here. Lets you play Angler just for 1 mana. He gives you a lot of untapped stuff. Looks like it's an okay. Resolves. I think it's going to be Geist Blasted, I would assume, is what's going to go on here. It's a pretty cheap thing to do. Paths, faces. Well, okay. Well, no more instants and sorceries. Just, you know, get rid of all your stuff here. You do. You do have instants and sorceries. The fact that Glimmervale Lake is instant speed is kind of crazy here. So it's kind of hard to weave removal, but I'm assuming Glimmervales are going to get either animated in response or... Yep. That's what I would do. Right? 1, 2... No, never mind. Oh, I mean, getting a Forbidden Treasure off is really good here. But I think your opponent is going to go for... Oh, Unravel. Okay. You get 2 picks. So counter and bounce faces. Okay. It is the end step. Not that faces can't be used. Okay, well... Are we unraveling thought that one? You unravel thoughts, the unravel thoughts, and then overruled will. There we go. That's the one. That was just the turn where everything was played out. So completely nuts. Unravel thoughts bounces the faces, gives you access to your flashback once more, gets rid of the opponent's threat. You manage to untap. Your opponent has 1 mana open. And can't counter the ETB on Elias. That's going to just nuke the yard. I think this is where you run it out. Yep. I'm sure Zangi's feeling that one. In response to the ETB, breakthrough, get rid of it. That still goes to exile, right? So... There goes the yard. Always makes for a lot cleaner. It's really funny how it's like super similar decks, just the payoff is different, right? Big payoff here is kind of like your the blue one. I'm sorry, I'm blanking really hard on the name here. Haven't had a chance to memorize it. The one that digs like maybe 13, and your Eviana finding just this crazy top end. Meanwhile, on this side, we're relying on the Rippers and the anglers. So there's faces, but there's a silent lakefront to counter it. Don't have to deal with that. Can't counter a land. That's the thing. The fact that these are activated abilities and not spells means they're actually pretty uncounterable. 3 life here, not irrelevant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're missing 1 to drop an angler. Might as well keep everything else up. Trevor is kind of running out of some stuff. I mean, does have a Lacespire, obviously, and has a Sweeper and an Unveil, but gonna have to start maybe cashing in some of that flashback here. He got Discern and a Seafloor Treasures, so I'm not seeing the big one right now. Alrighty, moving to the end. Here's Thistle Charm dealing 3 damage to Path of Scales. Are we letting Zangi get away with putting Path of Scales down to creatures you don't control get -1, -0? Looks like it's okay. Oh, I would be careful, and I would let myself untap, and then maybe your opponent's holding up a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's what I would do. Now you got the mana to at least I mean, look, Unveil can be huge, right, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. X can be equal to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have the mana to safely play out a Thistle Charm now. That's for sure. Alright, moving to cleanup. We know nothing's going to happen here from Tremor. From the hand, Seafloor Treasures popping out. I'm assuming maybe Discern might also follow suit. Top 2, let's see what we find. Silent Lakefront, great cards. Really a big fan of Lakefront. You might seem overcosted at like 5 mana, but it's an uncounterable counterspell that also gains you life. And there it is. Okay, Mysteries of the Forbidden. I'm sure I'm going to remember this more as the season progresses. So while I can't promise more than 1 video in a day, I definitely want to try to get at least 1 video every couple of days. And especially during the Grand Prix, when I start playing I definitely want to start recording my own episodes, but in the meantime, just fun. So looks like we're chanting onto a Thistle Charm that is heading to the Path of Scales. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana here, which does mean that you can unveil. The problem with unveiling is that your opponent has an Unravel Thoughts in the hand. So are we just using Silent Lakefront? Yeah, okay. It's hard to get that unveil to go through, but Silent Lakefront can be countered. Yep, that's just real good. And Tremor's back up to 20. Zangi's just losing threat after threat here. At least the Angler can still be cast from exile. That's nice. How are we? 2 instants or sorceries. Cordelia's Ripper sitting at 7 mana total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with 2 open. I mean, you can get through an unveil, but... Oh, you know what? This isn't double blue, so your opponent can't bluff having Unravel Thoughts. You have to play around... I mean, you play around removal, but... Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're just going with the Crusher. Okay. That's fair. That's very fair. Tapping it that way. You want to have as much blue open. That's fine. Yep. Can't tax that. There's the 5/5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a Glimmervale Lake that can activate. 2 more instances in the yard. We're back up to 4. Your opponent does have a Leyspire, so you maybe want to just keep that Unravel Thoughts here rather than just guaranteeing you get the 5 damage. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the smart play to do. If you can punch that path, though, doubling all your non-creatures, non-battles, juicy stuff. I mean, obviously, this card's just doing the main thing here. It does feel kind of hard to get to the defeated thing, but, we got a 3 damage off. It's not nothing. Okay, there's the Beyond Comprehension. Nuclear options, they work. Here's Unravel Thoughts. You're going to pick 2 modes, but then your opponent is going to chuck an Unveil, I would imagine, at that. And there you go. Oops, my apologies. Just knocked over some dice. Unveil triggers, get a chart. Your opponent is out of Angler. And if you look at the exile, 2 Anglers there as well. We haven't seen the Rippers much in this game. Here's the interesting thing, though. Pretty much tapped out. And a lot of instants and sorceries here, so there's the Ripper. I mean, there's options for the Ripper, but the fact that it's landed before the Helia could come in and knock it out. Alright, let's just clean up these graveyards here. Before combat, looks like there's nothing here. Do you hit the Path of Scales and throw 2 damage? Yes, good. So... yeah. Scales goes down to 0. Great stuff. Other Ripper in hand is really cute. Keeping the mana open, even though you don't really have something. I don't know. I guess you're not at such a life total where pushing the extra damage would have made a huge difference. You don't have the mana to crack Lorespire, unfortunately, but you can cycle Rousing Path, and you've got a Ripper for the following turn. Let's think from Tremor's side of things. We've got Ivyana for the 2 damage. Mysteries can dig a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not quite at the 13 yet, though. There's Stones. Okay, Leyspire coming out. I mean, cycling Rousing Path. Okay. Resolves. I mean, Ripper is still around, and it's got flying, so it goes over the Helia Leyspire. Yeah, you lose your yard once more, but 31 cards in exile, 16 left in the deck. So pretty pretty tight match here. The thing is, no counterspells, right? Tremor can just start digging in. You got Mysteries here. Discern is in the yard. Do you still have a treasure? No, there's no seafloor treasures, but a little bit of thinking. Chart can dig you to a land to clear it out. You got 5 mana open. That could also just be Ivyana straight up. But your opponent's holding up 3, so you got to respect it, right? You lose by losing your big threat, so there's Mysteries. You kind of want to think that your opponent doesn't have a counterspell in the sense that they didn't counter your Helliolate Spire, but maybe they're thinking, Zangi's already throwing 5 damage a turn. Maybe they don't care too much about that. So Mysteries digs for a huge amount of cards and is going to go find one of them. Let's see what gets picked up. Ivyana continues to be really cool. I love the fact that it's a wish for a dragon because it means you don't have to have it in your main board. Hey, Fateful Ascent, that's removal for the Ripper, and let's see if Zangi has the protection for it. Doesn't, so Ripper's going to get charted. The interesting thing is actually it's not horrible to find the chart here. Zangi can pop that chart as the turn ends, and Tremor's just down to 1 land here, so Tremor is at 2 lands here. So very interesting stuff. I'm assuming we're cracking that chart. Reveal until you get a land. Kind of nice to see what's left in the deck. There's an island. And then the rest goes on the bottom in a random order. So away they go. Lands is good. Lands is good. I mean, you can land some big stuff here. I mean, you don't have a graveyard, admittedly, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can hard cast whoops. I have to do something here before I accidentally get kicked off. I guess, here we go. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I never know when it actually kicks me off. It wants me to do stuff, but I don't want to get kicked off the server. If it happens, we'll log back in. It's good that the program does that. So looks like the mill is actually going on Tremor's side this time. Interesting. I mean, yeah, you don't want to mill yourself. Is it not a Yume? Nope, sure isn't. Glimmervale Lake gets activated. Swing at 5. So that's a 5 damage here at Tremor. There's bodies on the board. There's 2 Glimmervales. Those can both potentially be anglers. Chart being cracked here. Find a plains. What's the mana situation like right here? So you land in Ivyana. It's kind of wild to think like where things were going wrong. I mean, landing Ivyana is fine, but that damage isn't going to get rid of the angler, right? A lot of instants and sorceries, so, I mean, Mysteries can draw. You got a Discern left in the yard. It's actually a tight position because your Helia can block one of them, so you're not dead right away. Technically your opponent has to use both Glimmervales, turns them into, swing for 15, block 1, take 10, you go to 1. The question is, do they... No, I mean, Cordelia Ripper's probably not the play. I think really we're at the point where it's going to be Glimmervale Lake activations. So can Ivyana at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... I don't think there's anything to tutor in the sideboard. Again, I do not know Tremor's sideboard, but this actually isn't looking great. Yeah, not able to draw 13. Are we just in a... That's a really rough position. I mean, you're not out of it. You can still dig, right? Like, yeah. Because it still digs really deep, and you're looking for another piece of removal here, because just 1 takes out Angler of the Crushing Sea and the Glimmervales. Yeah, it means that you'll have to live with a Cordelia's Ripper and then that's going to be the next thing you have to deal with. But when you can keep digging pretty much most of your deck, not drawing 13, which again would have been really interesting, but let's see if we're able to find another Fateful Ascent. There's already 2 in the yard. I mean, at this point, you've got, what, 5 mana, so you'd be happy even with a board wipe. You've got the 2 white left. That could have been really risky. I don't think a land was played this turn, though. Yeah, so you still have the option to play a land. Unravel Thoughts, yeah, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. That's also removal. Play that out. Alrighty. Interesting. Passing over, huh? Doesn't that run the risk of your opponent being able to use the Glimmer Veils, even if you have the Unravel Thoughts? Are you trying to get the double off of it? I don't know. This is interesting. So there's Glimmervale Lake. Yeah. Uh-huh. Doing it again. This is what I would be doing. Glimmervale Lake. Yep. Swing for 15. Unravel Thoughts. Bounces the original. Oh, tap all? Oh, okay. Yeah, you kind of went through the start of combat there a little fast there. You know what? I completely forgot that this had a tap all mode. I was just there like, I guess you can bounce one thing. Yeah, I mean, you kept your opponent down for a little bit. 3 cards in hand, just delaying tactics. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, the truth is, bouncing this to hand just means that your opponent replays it for 7, right? 4 or 5. Yeah, they got the mana to replay it. So, you know, I like that. A fog is a fog. There's a Fateful Ascent. That's actually really big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, looks like we're doing the Eviana here, right? Unless there's something in the yard that I'm not paying attention to. Nope, it's the Eviana. I mean, I only saw the Discern, so. Dragon comes in, your opponent didn't counter that, so you're pretty sure that you're going to be able to activate what you have. -2. Do you have like a body that's just a little smaller than a 10-drop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 mana to play with, and the treasures are tapped, unfortunately. So, what other dragon is in the sideboard? I don't know. I know there's the big blue one. I haven't seen the other ones. These are long games. I mean, oh boy. Okay, nope, looks like it's just Asulio. You got it in your hand, and it counters a non-creature spell. Fateful Ascent, great. Takes out the Angler. So you're not dead next turn. So maybe, yeah, maybe that's just enough. Gets you to a chart. The Cordelia Ripper, you can only drop 1 of them. The thing about the Ripper is that, yeah, it deals 2 damage and then 3, but then your opponent drops a 10/10. What are you doing against that, right? Like, that lands, you're kind of done. Chart finds a Misty Peak. So, yeah, I guess it swung back the other way. I guess that was enough, honestly. Drawing the Fateful Ascent was the right twofer here. Drawing an Ominous Frogs. Sure wish you had a graveyard at this point, but there's always Lorespire Bluff that can draw 2 cards, I guess. So, there's Frogs. You can also Glimmerveil Lake the Frogs and just swing for 2 damage at Eviana, but oh, this would be really interesting. Maybe that's what you do. Frog it up, swing for 4. Or swing for 2 and 2, but, you know, one of them gets blocked by the Lay Spire. Maybe your opponent doesn't block, afraid of the strangle. But you still have to swing both at Leviathan. That's the thing, right? So, because you kind of really want them gone. So, I don't know. Is Zangi going to animate, or is Zangi going to maybe crack in a bluff, try and find some things to ping with the frogs? I mean, it's getting pretty hard to do so. Like, most of the deck is in the yard. Speaking of yards, let's get rid of this one again. Should have math. Wait, no, math is bad. Okay. There's Ripper. Nice. Ripper does get the chip in for 3, 2 damage at Iviana. But then you got to deal with the 10-10. 11, yeah. And the non-creature all that. Yeah, I know. Path of Scales defeated, but just nothing to copy with. So that's it. Asulio's going to come out. We're going to see what Zangi draws. Does Zangi have anything in the deck that deals with Asulio, the Watchful Star? I don't know. I guess what deals with it is the fact that it swings for 9 damage and 9 doesn't kill you. And if they swing for 9, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the face. Question mark? I don't know. I imagine you just win because Asulio as a legendary, finds 2 non-creatures, and then those non-creatures probably get there. So, yeah, that's the one that's on the side. There's the 10, Asulio coming out. The Watchful Star. Lands. This is it. It's down to the draws, right? 2 cards from sideboard. Wishing into the Wish Dragon is definitely an interesting way to play this out. I really do wish it popped up the sideboard for us spectators. We're gonna have to live vicariously through this same interface as each other. Looks like it's a bit of a thought bubble here. It's non-creatures, so could be a lot of stuff. Probably some duplicate copies of a lot of stuff we're seeing in the yard. I mean, might be a copy of Fateful Ascent in there, or Geist Blaster's Breakthrough would actually be fantastic, right? It's big enough to deal with that. So you've got the 1 mana here. I don't know what else you're going for. So let's see. Okay, looks like we're going for Draconos Magistus and Can we do that? Non-creature. Can you do that? Oh, yeah, okay. I was like, I don't think you can do that. That only gets non-creatures. All right, looks like the picks have been made. Grabbing a Thistral Charm and an Advance of Fire and Faith. So, great stuff here. I guess just kind of like the last kind of points of reach. This is what, 2 damage to a non-battle target. 1, yeah. And then Charm, of course, 3 damage to a few things. So, not too surprising here. Misty Peak coming out. I'm assuming it's going to be the Thistle Charm. What just happened here? Oh, okay. Advance of Fire and Faith. Okay. Using the... Okay. Cracking the treasures. There, I was like really confused for a second. I'm like, I think it tapped out. No, there it is. So 2 damage and the 3 takes out the Ripper. I mean, there is another Ripper, but there isn't an instant or sorcery. It's getting pretty tight. Your opponent's got a 10-10 flyer on the field, so I mean, I think Ripper should be in the exile, right? Well, not that it really matters, I think, at this point, but whatever. They'll figure it out if they have to. Tapping a bunch of stuff. Here's another Ripper. Looks like it's an okay. I mean, that is just a swing and 2 damage. Your opponent goes to 4, I mean, or you block a 10-10. And if they swing with a 10-10, you can actually do a few crazy things with Glimmerveil Lakes here, right? Oh, hey, Gold Knight Purgeblade. Haven't seen you in a while. Good card, but it's got to be used on the stuff as we speak. Both non-creatures got used to deal with 1 Ripper. If you swing with a Sulio, actually, never mind. You don't even block. If you swing with a Sulio, you're dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, you can't swing with a Sulio right now. That's the issue. Check the yard real quick. No more discerns. Yeah. This is a real back and forth. Oh my gosh. At any moment, it's anybody's game. I love it. Lee coming in hour and 45 minutes in. Oh, it looks like we are going for combat. Interesting. Yep, I take the 9, because, again, it does kind of matter with the path of scales here. So Zangi's at 5. Gold Knight can't block. I think Zangi has it. Just Glimmerveil's swings. Dang. I don't. I mean, you know what? You know, now that I'm thinking about it, even if you didn't swing, the fact that Ripper survived meant that the 2 Glimmerveil Lakes also had lethal, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Zangi's taking this. Oh my gosh. Milled all my lands. Your lands are gone. There's no more. There's nothing left. That's really funny. It doesn't matter. You got lethal on board, bud, right? I mean, you don't know what your opponent has, but the fact that this can't block, it only deals things that entered or transformed this turn. You have lethal, right? You don't even need to try casting anything. Am I missing something? No, this is defeated haste. Nothing here on the lands. What is going on? I mean, Zangi doesn't know if there's removal, right? Like, if you animate, and you just don't quite have the, no, but there's still flyers. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 2 animates. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if people are just missing the obvious kill, or if I'm being really silly. So 1 gets resolved. So mill 2. Draw a card. Charm. Frog's pings, right? Or somewhere. Overrule, target player mills 3. Am I missing something? I don't think so. This feels like a lot of tanking for... You tell me if I'm completely wrong. I have a feeling there's just lethal on board, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Glimmerveil. You know, you don't know what's in your opponent's hand, I know, and it could be stuff. But, okay, there it is. Glimmerveil. Those were missed frog triggers. Sorry. But you don't need it. You've got lethal. No, it's not... That's a very kind opponent. I would have said no here. You just had... Okay, so I was right. You just had to animate. There you go. It's finally over. What a match. Oh my gosh, that's such a great way to start. Super long, but hopefully y'all enjoy it. There is a lot of cool stuff out here to check out. These decks are both really, really cool. Definitely learned a lot about both of your decks. So stay tuned. There's going to be more Revolution content throughout the month, and hopefully my schedule doesn't get a little too crazy. So take it easy, have a good one, and see you around.